storyteller's turn. In today's video, we dive deep into one of the most chilling UFO encounters in history, the Rendlesham Forest Incident of 1980. From strange lights to a triangular craft and mysterious military reports, this real-life alien encounter continues to haunt those who witnessed it. Was it a military experiment, or were extraterrestrials making contact? Let's explore the eerie details of this unsolved mystery. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more stories from the world of the unknown. The Rendlesham Forest Incident. Late one winter night, deep in the shadowy heart of Rendlesham Forest in Suffolk, England, something inexplicable unfolded. Something so eerie, so extraordinary, that it would leave witnesses questioning their very understanding of reality. Known today as Britain's Roswell, the events of December 1980 would go down in history as one of the most well-documented and chilling UFO encounters of all time. Imagine a cold, silent forest cloaked in darkness, only to reveal itself under the flickering glow of unearthly lights. This is where our story begins. Rendlesham Forest lies nestled near two Royal Air Force bases, RAF Woodbridge and RAF Bentwaters. The military personnel stationed there, trained and prepared for Cold War operations, would soon be dragged into one of the strangest and most controversial incidents ever recorded. What they experienced would leave physical evidence on the ground, haunt their psyches, and spark an enduring mystery that continues to captivate UFO enthusiasts and skeptics alike. It was December 26, 1980. Staff Sergeant Jim Peniston and Airman John Burroughs were on routine patrol when they noticed dazzling lights glowing within the dense forest. At first, they presumed it might be a downed aircraft, an emergency that required their immediate response. But as they bravely pushed forward into the thick of the woods, they discovered something far stranger. What they saw defied logic. A triangular craft, no larger than a car, hovering eerily just above the frozen ground. It emitted bright lights, its metallic skin reflecting the nighttime forest like a living painting. The air around it felt charged, almost buzzing with an invisible energy. It wasn't just technology they didn't recognize. It was something that felt utterly alien. Peniston later described the craft as a machine of unknown origin. He saw no seams, bolts, or rivets, and its silent operation seemed impossible by human engineering standards. The surreal scene grew even stranger when Peniston, spurred by a mix of curiosity and duty, approached the object. Against all instincts of fear, Peniston stepped closer to the craft, his breath hanging in the icy air as he reached out a trembling hand. To his amazement, the surface was warm and smooth, pulsating faintly as though alive. Suddenly, he felt a jolt, a surge of energy coursing through him like an electric current. It wasn't just physical, it was something deeper, almost as though an unspoken message seeped into his mind. Peniston would later recall flashes of bizarre symbols burning in his thoughts, like imprints left by something far more advanced than Earth's understanding of science. He meticulously documented these symbols afterward, but their meaning remains a mystery to this day. Before he could study the craft further, it suddenly became a blur of light, shooting silently into the night sky with a speed that left the witnesses awestruck and terrified. In its wake, the men felt as though they were standing at a threshold between the known and the unfathomable. The story could have ended there, the craft leaving only questions in its wake, but the forest wasn't finished with its strange visitors. On the night of December 27th, renewed reports filtered in. Mysterious lights were back, this time more erratic than before. The base leadership, sensing something significant, decided to take matters into their own hands. Colonel Charles Halt, deputy commander of the base, assembled a team of military personnel armed with flashlights, cameras, and radiation meters. With military precision, they ventured into the shrouded forest, their footsteps crunching over frost-covered leaves. What they encountered seemed straight out of science fiction. Red and blue lights darted through the trees with impossible speed and precision, evading capture but leaving behind evidence of their passage. As the team advanced, their equipment began to malfunction. Radios crackled with static, compasses spun wildly, and radiation levels spiked inexplicably. Then, out of nowhere, they spotted it. A triangular object, eerily similar to the one described by Peniston. Colonel Halt himself described it as having a red light glowing on top and blue lights pulsing underneath. He watched, stunned, as the object moved in ways no known aircraft could, zigzagging and accelerating at supernatural speeds. The craft finally shot upward and disappeared into the void, leaving the men bewildered and shaken. By morning, Rendlesham Forest bore the scars of the previous night: charred marks on the ground, unusual impressions in the frozen soil, and, perhaps most disturbingly, residual radiation that science couldn't explain. These eerie traces lent weight to the idea that what the witnesses saw wasn't a mere hallucination. It left tangible proof of its presence. In the days and weeks following the incidents, those who had stood face to face with the unknown began experiencing strange aftereffects. Some complained of chronic headaches, dizziness, and insomnia that seemed tied to their time in the forest. Others spoke of recurring nightmares, visions of lights, symbols, and figures that defied description. Reports even trickled in of operatives feeling as though they were being monitored, watched by an invisible force. Were these lingering effects of an encounter with extraterrestrial beings, or the result of psychological trauma caused by an encounter with extreme classified technologies? The explanations were as elusive as the lights themselves. Almost as mysterious as the events themselves was the veil of secrecy that soon enveloped the case. The Ministry of Defense initially dismissed the incident, classifying it as resolved. Yet, declassified documents tell a different story. Colonel Halt's detailed memo, composed weeks later, chronicled the series of events with the precision of a soldier. Some researchers argue the events were the result of a top-secret military experiment involving advanced aerospace technology. Others claim the explanation lies far beyond Earth, pointing to the strange lights, electromagnetic interference, and gravity-defying maneuvers as hallmarks of extraterrestrial craft. A minority even pushed the theory of interdimensional visitors or time travelers crossing our reality. Adding to the enigma are Peniston's sketches of the unexplainable symbols he envisioned. What do they mean? Were they a language, a navigation code, or something far beyond human comprehension? These tantalizing breadcrumbs continue to baffle cryptographers and UFO researchers alike. Of course, no great mystery is complete without its doubters. Debunkers have offered mundane explanations, suggesting that the lights may have been misidentified celestial objects like meteors or even nearby lighthouse beams magnified by atmospheric conditions. But these interpretations do little to explain the physical evidence, the consistent testimony of multiple trained military witnesses, and the psychological impacts that lingered for decades. More than 40 years have passed, but the Rendlesham Forest incident refuses to fade into obscurity. It represents a rare convergence of credible witnesses, physical evidence, and psychological aftermath. It's a case that asks more questions than it answers, forcing humanity to confront its greatest fear, that we might not be alone in the universe, and worse, that they may not operate by the rules we understand. Colonel Halt's memo, Peniston's symbols, and the haunting tales from the forest have ensured that Rendlesham remains a focal point for UFO enthusiasts worldwide. Even skeptics can't deny its place in the history of unexplained phenomena, an eternal puzzle that hints at the vastness of our ignorance. In the end, the Rendlesham Forest incident is a story of awe and terror, of humanity brushing against the unknown. It is a tale that reminds us how small we are in a universe teeming with possibilities. Whether it was an extraterrestrial visitation, a covert experiment, or something far stranger, those few nights in December 1980 left behind a legacy of mystery and wonder. What do you believe? Could the witnesses have stumbled onto something extraordinary? Or were their minds playing tricks amidst the shadows and lights? Leave your thoughts in the comments. And if you've enjoyed delving into this chilling tale of the unexplained, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more thrilling stories from the edge of reality. The truth is out there, somewhere in the depths of Rendlesham Forest.